Do you remember the moment you first questioned a miracle? Maybe it happened quietly. Perhaps during a sermon, when someone spoke about a man walking on water or raising the dead. And for a brief moment, a question appeared in your mind. Did this really happen? But almost immediately, that thought was followed by guilt, because many of us were taught that questioning miracles was dangerous. Doubt meant weak faith. Doubt meant betrayal. So we stayed silent. But what if that quiet question in your mind wasn't rebellion at all? What if it was simply curiosity? Today, we're going to explore a perspective rarely discussed in churches, a way of reading the Bible that asks questions of logic. To understand this, we travel back more than 3 centuries to a man who paid a high price for his questions: Baruch Spinoza. Spinoza dared to apply reason to sacred texts, examining the Bible the same way historians analyze any ancient document. For asking those questions, Spinoza was expelled from his religious community at just 23 years old. He lived the rest of his life isolated, working as a lens grinder to survive, while quietly writing ideas considered dangerous. When Spinoza applied this method to the miracles of Jesus, he noticed patterns and historical clues that raised difficult questions. Let's begin with the resurrection of Lazarus. In the Gospel of John, Jesus raises Lazarus after he has been dead for 4 days. But here's the strange detail. The earlier Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, never mention this event. If someone witnessed a man bring a 4-day dead body back to life, wouldn't that be impossible to ignore? Some suggest this story functions less as a historical report and more as a powerful theological message about resurrection. Now consider another well-known story: Jesus walking on water. In the narrative, the disciples struggle through a storm. Peter tries to walk toward him but sinks. Jesus asks, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Many scholars notice the story functions symbolically. The sea represents chaos. The storm represents fear. Then there is the feeding of the thousands. This miracle appears in all 4 Gospels, but the numbers change. First, 5,000 with 5 loaves. Later, 4,000 with 7 loaves. Could these be theological symbols? Take the story of Jesus casting demons into pigs. Mark says thousands of pigs rush into the sea, but the city mentioned is dozens of kilometers away. Later writers appear to adjust the location. Spinoza believed the gospel writers were interpreting stories, shaping them to speak to their communities. Consider the man born blind. His parents fear expulsion from the synagogue, a practice that began decades after Jesus. To Spinoza, this was proof the Bible was historical literature shaped by real human communities. Faith should not depend on fear of questioning. Truth should not be protected by silencing curiosity. This doesn't destroy faith. It opens a path where stories are appreciated for their wisdom and moral insight. What if doubt isn't the enemy of faith? What if doubt is simply the beginning of understanding? Maybe the real question is why these stories were told and what they were trying to teach. If this video made you think, like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, when did you first question a story you were taught? That moment might be the beginning of a much deeper journey.